What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Monday morning. Oh, that's funny. Forgot I was wearing the shirt. Go Bigs or go home this week. Shout out to my mom who made these family hashtags. If you don't have one, you should get one. So we are here on Monday morning, and I gotta admit, I forgot about this one. Full transparency. Tune out now if you want, but I had the book launch last week and I was laser focused on that. I was sitting on the couch yesterday going, oh crap, I got a Monday morning coming up. I need to be here for it. So it's going to be a quick one today. I don't have a guest because I didn't line one up, but I did find some cool stuff to chat with you guys about, and we'll run through that. So just a reminder, I will do this every Monday morning, whether I have a guest or not. I'm going to hold that habit at least through the end of 2020. So check me out, 7:30 live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So wherever you are watching right now, go ahead and leave me a comment, say hello, say good morning. Let me know where you're listening from. Throw me some questions, comment on the stories. Let's have some fun in the comments. And I know you all can do it now because you did it on Friday. So you don't get a pass anymore for not showing up in the comments. And like the ticker says, check out my book. Go to mylesbigs.com. You can check out the book and you can watch the TEDx talk if you haven't already. So today, like every morning, we're going to talk about good news. I got a dad joke for you. And then we get into some resources and challenges to keep you going. So like I said, no guest today. So you all can get ready to laugh or cringe. I'll tell my joke to you. It'll be really awkward because no one's going to laugh because it's just me talking to myself and you all watching. But let's get into it, okay? Tell this around the water cooler all week. Get all the laughs. Why did the frog take the bus? Interesting question. Because his car got towed. I have a new appreciation for stand-up comedians. If you're standing on stage telling a joke and no one laughs, it probably feels like that just felt talking into a live stream and you can't hear anybody laughing. So drop me an emoji in the comments on your reaction to that one, and we'll have some fun. All right, let's get into our news stories, some positive things, some cool resources. Guys, I don't know if you heard about this, but we're making progress on this bad boy. So this is the headline from Pfizer's website. They feel like they found one that's pretty viable. I've heard lots of news stories about this on the radio, on the internet, everything from, it's up to 90% viable. So fingers crossed, right, that they're saying perhaps as early as spring of 2021 that we would have a vaccine that is readily available to most of us, whatever that means. So that's some good news. If you haven't heard about that, now you know. Hopefully you take that with you throughout the week, and it's some positivity. So next story really isn't necessarily good news, but I thought it was interesting. We've been working from home because we don't have that vaccine, right? I saw this article about how to fight groupthink that happens when we work virtually. And I think it's interesting. I guess it could be classified as good news because you can create something good out of it, right? The idea, without reading the whole article to you, is that, when you're in a virtual environment like this, if you get somebody like me on the Zoom call that's really chatty, I could totally take over the whole conversation. And it's hard to speak up. You don't have that same in-person vibe. And so it ends up, people just want to get on and off the calls, right? And just to zoom through this, right? Zooms end up being rushed or exhausting. We're all burnt out on this virtual thing. Sometimes it feels like we spend the first 5-10 minutes trying to get the technology to work, right? And then we get so many booked right on top of each other that you jump from Zoom to Zoom to Zoom to Zoom every 15 minutes. So it gets exhausting and you rush through them. It's easy to assume that we are on the same page when we're not, right? And I think this is the most important part, right? We've lost the traditional body language signals of that in person, right? Where you feel someone shift and that energy in a room is kind of lost in the virtual environment. So it's easy to make assumptions that end up being false. So that's an interesting point. And then, like I said before about me being chatty, right? A small group of people can really run the meeting because, they speak first, and then if you get talking, someone starts like filibustering the Zoom meeting, it's hard to pop in and interrupt to get a word in edgewise, right? So it just doesn't lead lead to productivity, really. It leads to that groupthink. So what can we do to combat groupthink in Zoom meetings? Article had great points, right? Prepare to speak up. If you know you got a Zoom meeting coming, show up prepared. There should be an agenda, first off, for every meeting. And if there's not, you need to request one, or you need to take the initiative and create one. But come prepared. You know what you want to accomplish with that meeting. Get ready to get your point in. And if you know that there's somebody that is going to dominate that meeting, then you need to make sure that you speak up sooner than you normally would, right? And then rotate hosts. This one I think is a really good idea because most companies have that. I got to get my banner off, guys. Switch them. Most people have that typical person that is like the leader that just runs everything. And so it's easy if we just assume that person's going to host the meeting every time. Then why do we have to show prepared? We're not running it, right? It makes it easy for us to become passive participants instead of taking an active role. So by rotating that host, you change it up and you make sure everybody's voices get heard. And then sometimes people just aren't chatty. Like we all have those quieter colleagues, right? So we have to be able to create an opportunity for them to speak. If you guys don't know it, in Zoom, there's a little emoji thing where you can raise a hand or do a thumbs up or whatever, right? You can come up with a code of if you don't want to interrupt somebody, you have a signal for when somebody wants to speak. So it's not as abrupt as just chiming in, and that becomes the culture. It makes it easier for everyone to speak up. So I thought that was a cool article. I'll post a link to this in the comments. A little bit different than a company doing something good. I just think it's a chance for you to do good in your company. That's my take on it. By avoiding that groupthink that happens as we work virtually, especially until we get that vaccine I talked about before. The third story, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I mean, if you guys are on LinkedIn right now, I love the news section on LinkedIn, but went into space again on Sunday, launched space with SpaceX and SpaceX. I just think this is cool every time, right? How freaking cool is it that we could send humans into space? And I watched the Challenger documentary on Netflix a little bit ago. It was just wild. And it gave me a whole new appreciation for all the engineering stuff it takes to go into space. And it's just a fun thing to think about, especially when they start talking about space tourism. Super crazy. We could all end up in space one day. Crazy stuff. So vaccines coming. Some tips on how you can avoid groupthink in Zoom meetings. And if you haven't already, go check out the most recent space launch because that's freaking cool. All right, getting into the time of the call where I talk about resources and challenges. Again, I'm going to kind of mix them, and I promise it'll be the last time that they're self-serving and promotional for me, but I'm still fresh off this book launch, so I got to plug it, guys. Check out my book, Unseen Work, and check out the TED Talk. If you go to milesbiggs.com, got a whole new design up there. And you can check out the TED Talk embedded right into the website. Go watch it. If you haven't already, it gives you a whole better understanding of what this book is about. And here that is on my website as well, but it's for sale on Amazon. Unseen Work, why the best path to your goals is not always a straight line. I'd love it if you'd pick it up. I'd love it if you'd let me know what you think of it. Leave a review. I'm excited to have this project, see the light of day after a year and a half, almost 2 years of working on it. So check those out. Another thing that's pretty cool is if you go to typoprints.com, that's TYYPO prints.com, you can use the promo code unseen at checkout to get 10% off your first order. But look at this. I literally have my name up in lights, which is pretty cool for me to see. Not going to lie about that. It's something I'm excited to launch. Nick Mann is the guy that owned Typo Prints, and I met him through an online mastermind community. And he approached me, loved the idea for the book, and he wanted to do something with it. I said, absolutely, let's go. And so he made 3 prints now called the Myles Biggs collection that you can go check out on typoprints.com. So all of these are little tidbits from the Unseen Work book that I just launched, that book, Unseen Work. And you can get your favorite quote perhaps as something for your wall, which is pretty neat. And so it's all in collaboration with Nick. You use promo code unseen, you get 10% off. You can check it out. And I got mine just this weekend. So where you see it over my shoulder. Boom. Turn the screen off. Got a mirror of the glare. But that's pretty neat. Now I got my own quote behind me on my motivation wall. And I rotated my stuff. So I have execution and hustle on there too. Because for me to get to the point where you can see this guy took a lot of those guys. So that's pretty cool. So I got on lining up a guest for next week. So it's not just me talking the abyss of the internet here. Oh, and Danielle, thank you. New artwork. Check it out. And that's what I got. Hope you guys crush it this week. Send me your suggestions for guests. Send me your ideas for if you want new stuff, you want different segments aside from good news. I would love to hear from you all and make this what you want to tune into in the morning at 7:30, bright and early, or afterwards on the replay. So I will talk to you all later. Have an awesome, awesome week and crush it.